Hello and welcome to the Kilowatt Half Hour, a podcast about the world of EVs brought to you by the team at electrifying.com.
We're back! And first of all, before we get started, we're so sorry to everyone who's been emailing and messaging and shouting at us, wondering where we had gone. We're so sorry.
Yes, I know. The simple answer, I think we just needed a bit of a factory reset, didn't we, really?
Yeah. If we try and put it in like car terms, we've had like a model year upgrade. So we've got like new software, we've had a midlife facelift, but not on our actual faces. Instead, it's a midlife facelift.
Speak for
for
yourself.
this.
I might have had a bit of work done over Christmas. You know, it's fine.
I quite like the idea of a midlife facelift. Maybe that's a different podcast. I'm going to think of this as our new version 2.0 with fewer glitches. A bit like when VW had to do the massive software update, but
yes,
it's going to be better than that.
Yes.
But most of all, we have missed you all, and we have missed everybody, haven't we?
We have.
We have.
We've really missed everybody.
We have. So welcome back, everyone. Do you want to dive straight in?
Let's dive straight in. Let's do it.
It has been the busiest time. I mean, I can't remember being this busy. It's been absolutely crazy. And obviously it means that we haven't had as much time to do the podcast, but look, we're back. So what's been going on in the world of electric cars? So should we kick off with what we've been looking at, what we've been driving, what's been going on?
I think we need to do an edit of this, I think, because if we just did everything that's happened, this would not even be the kilowatt hour. This would be the kilowatt day, I think.
The kilowatt omnibus. Is that a thing? Like a kind of the omnibus?
The granny charger.
It would be the granny charger of podcasts. And that is, in all honesty, why I think it took us so much longer to get this podcast back on air, because it's been very, very busy. So let's kick off, shall we, with the VW Group Triplets, I think.
Yes.
Because in a really kind of nice piece of synergy, we've each driven one of them. So congratulations, Volkswagen. They're having triplets. Yay for them. So sweet. So I think we can each take one of these to talk about. But when I drove the Raval, I likened them to the Spice Girls. And I realised that actually you can think of each of one of these three cars as a Spice Girl. So the VW ID Polo, well, it's Baby Spice. It's just fun.
So it's definitely Baby Spice.
Sweet. Everyone's going to love that car.
Yeah.
Cupra. Sporty Spice.
Of course.
Gotta be.
Yeah, goes without saying. Yeah.
It doesn't actually get much more in terms of performance, but it's got a few nice little tricks that you can, which I'll talk about in a minute, that you can spec and will make it more fun. And then I thought Epiq is Posh Spice, because let's face it, Skoda is basically Audi these days, isn't it? It's just like that's the job that Skoda, you know.
Yeah, maybe that might be a different discussion, but yes, I know exactly what you mean. Actually, it's become quite an aspirational brand, Skoda, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. So, shall we each take a VW Spice Girl, Vicky?
Yeah, why not?
How did you find Posh when you went for a drive in her?
So I went for a drive in Posh Spice, which I don't think is a sentence I ever expected to say, but yeah. So I drove the Skoda Epiq with a Q, and with a Q, of course.
It Epiq or Epiq?
Epiq.
No.
Epiqua.
Epiqua.
It's not Epiq. Epiq.
No, shush. It's Epiq.
It's a bit like just giving, when you give your baby a normal name, but you make the spelling slightly different just to annoy everyone.
Exactly.
This is like the first day back at term when everyone's overexcited.
It is. Everyone's really overexcited.
As you were, Vicky, please lead us.
No, it's a Skoda thing, isn't it? The Q at the end of their model names. But anyway, so this is the Skoda Epiq. I drove a prototype version in a very funky camo around Porto, which is well worth checking out. I got a YouTube short because the car looks amazing, and also Porto is very beautiful, so it's quite a nice video.
Yes.
And I really like it. It's interesting because actually the Epiq I think is further removed from the Polo and the Raval, but I think it's a bit different because it's a bit bigger. So it's actually the same size as the Kamik, which is also with a Q, by the way. And so you're talking about so it's a little bit bigger. It's about 4.3 meters, I think, off the top of my head, and it's a bit chunkier. It's got kind of quite a Jeepish grille on the front of it. So this is like a crossover-y thing. It's definitely a little bit bigger, bit more rugged. and that sort of separates it a bit from the smaller, I think
Yeah.
slightly kind of more, a bit more sort of urban oriented
Yeah.
Polo, and the sportier Raval. So I think that's how it's
Yes.
kind of panning out, really.
Okay. And you took Baby Spice.
I took Baby Spice. I took Baby Spice for a drive. We had a wonderful time. Me and the Polo have got along like a house on fire. Now, here's the thing. I think recently with a lot of sort of VW cars, there's obviously been all of the hatred for all of their infotainment and the whole touchscreen thing. And they basically have listened and changed it, because they changed it before, no one liked it, and they went, yeah, you're right, we're wrong, we'll fix it. And they fixed it. And honestly, I think I even gave a round of applause to VW during that video, because I
you
was
did.
like, this is such a good car. Fun little fact, actually, I was told by the VW guys when I saw them a few weeks ago at the awards thing where I saw you at. And they went, oh, just so you know, your video was played internally to like all of VW, because the guy said, well, I can't describe the Polo better than Nicola from Electrifying, and played our video to everyone internally at VW. How nice is that?
That is so nice.
Yeah,
It was a
that's
good
so
description.
good.
And also that fact that the thing we love the most is that the design director at VW, who is the nicest person, well, one of the nicest people I've ever met, is called, drumroll please,
Andreas Mint. It's perfect.
It's just too good.
It's so perfect. And also, the retro screen that they now have is easily the best thing I think I've ever seen. And for those that love the old VWs of back in the day, where you could put in a cassette tape and that kind of thing, that's all there, but digitally. And it's the little tiny details, the fact that you can see that little bit of the red of the tape in the cassette turning round, the fact that when it goes onto maps, it's like it's a paper map, so you can see creases in the paper and stuff like, it's so good.
Very cool.
It's so good, and it drives brilliantly. Oh, what a car.
I think, honestly, this is going to be a really interesting sort of time when these guys come out and when the EV2 comes out as well. There's some cool stuff coming in this section. So I went for a little ride in Sporty Spice, which again is a line I never thought I'd say, but there you go. And I can't actually say a lot because I couldn't see, inside was completely covered, had that amazing camo on. Which was, from memory, I think like a map of the Raval district, which is a really cool neighborhood in Barcelona that the Raval has been named after. So straight away they're saying I'm cool and funky and urban. But we have got a first look video. So what I'd done, I'd been out there to see the car, film a first look video. That's dropping in April. So we're not far off that arriving. So I didn't actually see much in the car. The thing that I saw that I loved and used and tried, Flappy paddles for brake regen. Who else is happy about that?
Yes, very.
It's so good, isn't it? And it's actually really, really nicely calibrated. It very much surprised me. You've got full one pedal driving. It's such a smooth system. I just, I used it. I did, it was a nice sort of twisty turny mountain drive, and I used it on that, and it's joyful. It's really, really joyful. So that again drives incredibly well. I can't do the comparison because I haven't driven the other two. But you know how we always said in the past, electric cars are all going to feel the same, blah, blah, blah. It definitely doesn't. It feels sportier. I mean, there's a limit to what they can do because these are all effectively based on the same hardware, aren't they? They've both got 38 kilowatt hour batteries or a 56 kilowatt hour battery. They're both sharing so much. So it's not necessarily got more power, but it's what they're doing with it. So it gets a really nice adaptive sport suspension. You can turn off the electronic stability control if you want to have a bit of fun in it and make it sportier. And it just has got really nice grip. So I was really pushing it on these country roads. I thought the steering was lovely. The grip into the corners was fantastic. So I predict they're going to have a triplet of winners on their hands with these three. And it's going to,
I think so
and
too.
it's just going to basically be down to which Spice Girl was your favourite.
I was always a Sporty Spice kind of gal.
Which
But
Spice Girls
maybe
are
I'm
we
a baby
forgetting?
now.
I can't remember the other two Spice Girls. We've got Posh, Sporty,
Ginger and
Baby.
Scary.
Ginger and Scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was Posh. Like, not
Of course
because I
you
was
were.
posh, 'cause I'm quite
We
really not.
know, Jenny. We know.
This makes sense.
I was born in a terrace house in Rochdale. I'm really quite not posh, but I did once or twice get mistaken for her. In the late 90s. Yeah. It was, yeah. I was like, okay. Anyway, should we talk about cars more, really?
Probably.
Other than the triplets, what else have
Yes.
you been driving?
Okay. I'm going to kick this off. You've driven it as well, both of you recently, I think. So the CLA. So this won European Car of the Year, which I'm a juror of. And I'm really pleased it did, because I really, really like the CLA. It's got a long range, 480 mile claimed, and real world efficiency is good. I just really like the way it drives. I think I have got a bit of beef with it in certain respects. I think that, bit of slightly kind of not mad on the dash design, not crazy about rear passenger space. But I reckon when they bring out the fastback, the shooting brake, that's the word I'm looking for. The CLA
That's
shooting
the
brake.
one.
That's the one. That's the one. I
love a
want.
shooting
That looks
brake.
so good.
Yeah.
I love a shooting brake.
Because they're not like full estates. They're not like full long boys. They're like sporty long boys.
Sporty long boys.
Long boys and trainers.
Yeah, we need to come up with a term for that. Ideas, please. Let's get your comments back in. So, Nicola, as you know, loves a long boy, aka an estate.
Love an
what do
estate.
we call a sporty long boy? Okay,
I think you just call it a sporty long boy. I think it's just a long boy in joggers.
Maybe our fabulous audience have got better, some better alternatives. So drop us
boy
a
in a gym
comment.
kit.
Don't forget, you can email us, podcast@electrifying.com, with all your comments, all your welcome backs. You can scold us for not being back sooner. We've had quite a lot of that, but if you feel like you need to do that, that's fine. We understand.
We
and
do.
of course, your car buying questions. And if you are new to electric, let us know, then we can give you a shout out for that as well. CLA, what did you make of it, Nick, when you drove it?
I didn't mind it. I think it. The thing is we did a video with me and Wonderful Batch on a twin test on which is the best sort of electric saloon that you can buy, which I will always fight the corner of the BYD Seal because I think it's a fantastic car. And so that day I did take the CLA out for a drive, and I was like, oh, do you know what? It's all right. I quite like it. I think for a Mercedes, I think it feels a tad on the cheap side on the interior in terms of materials and stuff like that. I think it rides perfectly fine. It's not quite my favourite. Don't hate me.
I had it for several days before that we did that shoot at the barn. If you haven't seen that video, it's here on the YouTube channel. You really should do, because we now have the electrifying two Ronnies, as we are now calling Batch and Nicola. Well, as I'm now calling Batch and Nicola. They're so funny. Anyway, please go.
It's only because he's so annoying. That's the only reason it ends up being funny, because he's so irritating.
Let's not bully. I don't want to have to phone HR. That's me.
I was going to say, that's you, isn't it? Yeah.
So I reckon I thought it was all right too.
Yeah.
I wanted to like it more than I did. That screen is ridiculous. I'm sorry, but that's just too much. It's too big. It is
good. It is good though. It works. It's good. You just got to get used to it, I think.
I was just going to say, you have got to remember that it starts from £45,000, so it's the same price. It's not that much more than a Model 3 and a BYD Seal. So if we're claiming that it feels a bit cheap for being a Mercedes and all of that stuff, and yes, I agree. I do think some of the plastics and it's just a bit too glossy, and the screen is a bit big, but it doesn't bother me that much.
Yeah, no, I don't like the screen. I thought some of the plastics were cheap. I didn't think the steering wheel felt nice. And for me in a car, I want the steering wheel to feel nice.
That didn't even cross my mind.
I just felt a little underwhelmed by it. And I think I would probably personally take a BYD Seal over it, which I was quite surprised by. I wasn't underwhelmed. It's a really good car. And obviously there is a reason it got voted European Car of the Year. I just think maybe I was expecting just a little bit more. And then we've got the charging issue in the UK as well, haven't we? Which has that been? I don't know.
That's been sorted.
Yeah, I think that's been sorted now. So it's kind of, I think the cars that I don't know whether they're in the showrooms now, but I think the car that you order now will have the 400 volt. So basically, if you don't know about this, so when the CLA was first released in the UK, it has 800 volt architecture, which means that it can use ultra rapid chargers that are 800 volt or more. But peculiarly, and I've never really got to the bottom of how or why this is the case, because that's not been the problem with any other 800-volt cars. Actually, the Taycan, when it first came out, had this issue, didn't it?
That had issue, yeah.
You couldn't charge at a 400-volt charger without a you needed a converter thing, which Mercedes would provide, but it's still a bit annoying, a special connector.
You needed an extra doodah.
And it would have just been really irritating, I think. And I think they have solved this issue now. So I think if you're thinking of getting a CLA and you're going to speak to Mercedes about it, and I would heartily recommend that. I would have the CLA over a BYD seal all day, every day, personally. I think it's great. I love the way it drives, personally. And make mine a shooting brake in that really nice red that they do.
Yeah,
would be a very happy girl indeed.
Yeah, sporty long boy.
I think that. I think that too. Yeah,
sporty long boy in the red, and just ask your dealer about just make sure that the car you're getting does have that issue solved, and then you're all right, and you can charge at all the chargers, and that's fine.
Yeah, nice. it was a bit of a ball drop, that, wasn't it? Or a mic drop.
It was a bit.
Not a mic drop, because that's a good thing. Let's talk about other award winners. Yoda. My Renault 5, who has seen me through now 4 seasons, a spring, a summer. Yes, Yoda. Mine's green, though. I've had a spring, a summer, an autumn, and I'm coming to the end of the winter with Yoda. Yoda has won an award.
Yes.
Go on. You can tell us as our resident UK Car of the Year judge.
Yes. Well, that's only just been a recent job for me. It's very exciting. So thank you to John Challen and the team for allowing me to join. But we had a day a few weeks ago where we went and drove some cars to decide what was going to be UK Car of the Year. And hey, it's gone to the Renault 5. And I think it was pretty much unanimous, because obviously it's got to go to the Renault 5 because it's brilliant. For the price, for the styling, the nods to the sort of the original Renault 5, they have absolutely smashed it out of the park, and they deserve everything coming their way. And I borrowed your Yoda for about 3 weeks, didn't I, recently, Jen? And I just love it. I just love it so much.
It's just such a fun car. I'm just sort of writing my 365-day report up on it. So we're going to be shooting a video on that. And there have been some things that have driven me mad with it. So in terms of other stuff, like I said, can't really go into everything we've seen in the last few months because it's been really busy. But I think the interesting one that I've been to see is EV2. So there's a first look video of that out on the channel. We're going to be driving that in the coming weeks. I think that's going to be a really interesting, addition to that whole, the triplets from VW, the EV2. It doesn't seem to me 2 minutes since we were ranting and shouting, there are no affordable electric cars. There's only 3 electric cars under £30,000. Where are all the little cars? I mean, these are not cheap bargains still. We're not in kind of £15,000-16,000 territory. They're going to be sort of all 23, 24 starting prices and somewhere around there. And of course, if you want the bigger batteries, in all of them, you're going to pay more. But I think what we've got are some really nice alternatives. And I think after Ford cancelled the Fiesta, we all wondered whether a small car's gone. Have we just become a nation of SUV lovers? Is that all the world wants now? Personally, after a year in a Renault 5, I'm really happy to see these smaller cars back because I have loved having a car that size.
Yes.
Agreed.
So that's one that I've seen and will shortly be driving that's impressed me. You've been driving something bonkers, haven't you?
I don't know if I should. I mean, I keep being allowed to drive concept cars. Thankfully, I didn't break this one. So I'm very proud of me. But I drove the Peugeot Polygon. So this is the concept car. Now, obviously, whenever we film a concept car, 9 times out of 10, it's not really going to look like that. But that's not kind of the reason that I drove it. The reason that I drove it is because they're now introducing steer-by-wire in Peugeot cars. And they're going to start off with the 208 and then gradually work their way up to their bigger cars. So I drove the Polygon with steer-by-wire, and I drove the 2008 with steer-by-wire.
Okay.
And it's so interesting what they've managed to achieve. And honestly, I thought I was going to hate it. I thought it was going to be one of those, well, don't like this. But actually, the more you ended up driving, we were going around this little sort of track that was set out with cones to kind of see what it felt like. And the more I did, the more I was like, well, this is easy. I quite like it. So we've done a whole video that's up on YouTube if you wanted to go and have a look at that. But it's a bit like, instead of turning a steering wheel over 360 degrees to make a turn, instead, the biggest turn it will make is 180 degrees, the steering wheel, which is now a square. It's a square with 4 holes in it.
Yeah.
Which,
are we going to see that though?
yeah.
Oh, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they've said they are going
It's
to
coming.
definitely do. I think it'll be optional on the 208. I actually drove the 2008 with the Hypersquare as well out in Portugal before Christmas, and it is a really interesting thing. I think it's going to take a long. People need to get used to it. I think they're going to get
Try
some
before you buy,
because it's quite quick. But I agree, it does actually feel really good when you get used to it. It's really cool. But I think it's going to be optional on the 208. But we're talking the 2027 to 208 here.
Yeah.
Okay. And actually, what we're going to do is, because a lot of this technology is news people. You're currently working on an explainer about all this, aren't you? Just for the website, Vic, about things like this, about how it, what it's going to feel like. Because there's some, the way we use cars and drive cars is going to change, and we're going to see a lot more of this stuff starting to filter through. I think for me, the possibly the most interesting car that I've seen this year, and I haven't driven it yet, was the Volvo EX60.
Yes.
And I say that because it's the XC60 is, of course, Volvo's best-selling car. It's the car that, of all time, by the way, it's the car that really established them as that massive powerhouse of SUVs that really kind of, that move away from estates that they did. And actually, I was so impressed with this when I saw it. It is beautiful. Now, haven't driven it yet, so don't have all of that information, but to look at, it's a thing of absolute beauty. So do go and check out that car. And I just think it's really interesting because we've got BMW iX3. I'm off next week to drive the Mercedes GLC, which I know you've spent a lot of time in the car, in the production versions of that, but I haven't driven it yet, Nick. And
I think you'll like it.
EX60, and I just think that these 3 cars are going to be really strong in that section. So I think it just, it's that I think is I think it is a very important car for Volvo, the EX60, to see
and
how many
the claimed range.
Oh god, yeah, it's
503 miles or something.
It's literally like every single thing that the BMW iX3 does. Like the range on the BMW iX3, the longest range in the UK, it will be on a production vehicle, 500 miles. The Volvo's, we do 503.
In your face.
It literally goes. It puts 100 miles in like a minute quicker.
Yeah.
It's almost as if they've literally gone, well, they're the Volvo, they're the iX3 stats, we're just going to beat them slightly. It's quite funny.
Fair play. I can't help but respect that. I like that very much.
Yeah, me too. I like it. Have you seen the Volvo ad for the EX60 as well, where they've done the whole thing about thanking everybody that's done the early adoption thing, and it's just like a normal car now, you can just keep driving, and it's a really interesting one. Check it out. It's quite. I'll find a link and send it to you guys. But if you're out there, have a look at the advert for it because it's quite interesting.
If you get a link, see if we can put it in the description on YouTube in the link below.
We'll do. Yeah, I like it. It's not often I like an ad, but I did like that one.
Should I just point out that it is the Kilowatt half hour and we're now well over 20 minutes, and just see if we should move on to some news quickly.
Okay, let's move on, and I'll give you my long-term updates on another episode because I've got the car till May, so we're fine.
Let's do that. Polestar 4 is getting its rear window back, and the boss says climate change is real. So that was my take out from a day in Gothenburg. And in this day and age, how bizarre that the boss of CEO of a major car company needs to come out and say, actually, no, we do think climate change is a thing, and no, we are sticking to electric because of that. But that's what he said. But the bigger story, the Polestar 4 is getting its rear window back. It's not the coupe, as that car is now going to be known, the Polestar 4 coupe. It's just that lovely Michael Loschscheller, and I'm saying his surname wrong, I'm sure. That's not how you pronounce it.
I think that's close enough.
Who's the CEO?
Yeah.
He said to me, it was the first thing he did when he joined. So he's a recent addition to Polestar. And the first thing he did was go, love the Polestar 4. They've actually been really surprised by sales on it. So it's their best-selling model. It's doing really well.
You see them a lot.
You do see them a lot. But he was like, but people have dogs and we need a more practical version. So he was like, right, let's do an estate version of it. Yeah. And that version, of course, will get a window. So I'm not allowed to talk about what it looks like or anything like that, other than we know it's a window. And they're unsure whether it's going to be called an SUV, an estate, or a shooting brake. No, an SUV, an estate, and I said, what about a wagon? And he was like, oh, I like that.
I love the term wagon.
Me too. So
Yeah.
in the comments before, what should Polestar call their estate version of the Polestar 4? What
Did you
do
not
name it?
even throw Longboy at them? Did you not want to give that to them as an option?
So anyway, but I thought that was really interesting. And they've got a big product offensive. That's very technical. That's such a kind of journalist term, isn't it? Product offensive. They've got loads of cars coming because they're currently only available. You can only buy a Polestar in 15% of the market, and they're pushing that into 65%.
Wow.
They've got lots of new stuff coming. But I
Yeah.
do think that estate, they reckon that's going to be, probably will sell even more than what will be known as the Polestar 4.
I agree. They will.
I
Yeah.
reckon.
So yes, and let us know, what do you think they should call it? SUV estate, wagon, something else?
Longboy.
Longboy, let's go. Right, that was my bit of news.
So what else have we got? So I was going to talk about BYD, wasn't I? Because we've got a few updates for this. You'll be pleased by this, Nick. They've updated the seal. And also the
it's
ATTO
actually
3.
slightly concerning because we were talking about it on Monday with BYD, and I'm a bit worried about it.
Why?
What are you worried about? Basically, they've made the boot bigger. Nobody understands how or why it wasn't bigger in the first place, but they've made the boot bigger. They've gone, I know, there's some space here. So they've made 85 litres bigger boot.
That's not a tiny amount, that, is it? Like, why do you suddenly like just, there's an 85 litres there that we hadn't noticed?
Was there a spare wheel well that they'd previously just kind of got the boot like hovering, and
dunno.
now they've decided to? I haven't seen it. I don't know much, but I do know it's a much bigger boot now, so that's good. And in the ATTO 3, which I don't think has sold brilliantly in the UK, it was the very first car that BYD bought in, and that's the one with the funky. It's got the guitar strings on the doors and all of this stuff. So they've made that longer range, also a slightly bigger boot, all of that. So yeah, a few tweaks and things going on there.
Bigger boot, bigger frunk in the ATTO 3.
Bigger
That's what I
frunk,
was
well-
driving on Monday. Yeah.
Yes, or it has a frunk. Did it have a frunk before? I think it just didn't have a frunk before, did it? I'm not
the
sure.
frunk now can confirm fits me. Find out in the video.
Where have they just randomly? So it's become rear-wheel drive now, the ATTO 3, hasn't it? So that's obviously where they've found space for the frunk. So it's not got the motor in the front anymore. But interesting.
But how? But I can see why they'd find space for a frunk. Completely get that. Like, how do you suddenly? I'm still going back to it. How on the seal did they suddenly go? Here's 85 litres of boot space that we've missed.
I don't know. I don't know how they do it, but can I tell you what my concern is, please?
Go on.
So the outgoing seal, the one that I filmed my video with, the one that I'm a big fan of, at the moment doesn't have that sensor that watches your face to make sure that you're constantly watching the road.
Oh, God.
Now, the ATTO 3 has, and it's obviously with the same sort of software. I can't tell you what it's like to drive it. I think it's all embargoed, but there's a video coming out soon. And I know that they're putting in that sensor into the BYD seal. And that's the only thing that's really going to bug me. Now, I know that you can turn them off and you can set a shortcut and all that sort of stuff. And I understand, I had a little mini rant in the video that's going to be coming out. I understand that ADAS systems are important and they're good for safety, good for NCAP ratings and all that sort of stuff. But I don't need you to tell me every 5 minutes that I look tired. I'm not having it. All right, I'm not having it. Okay, Monday morning, when I was out in Madrid, I was driving the ATTO 3, 10 minutes in. I had a really good night's sleep. Actually had 2 coffees that morning. If anything, I was wired, not tired. And it was telling me, tiredness detected, take a rest. And I was like, well, I'm a little bit livid by that. So it's one of those things that I feel like I'm going to have to turn it off constantly. And I don't appreciate the fact that you have to do that. So I think BYD need to find an easier way to switch everything off rather than having to go through a menu and set it as a shortcut. I think you should take heed from Renault and have a little double tap by the side of the steering wheel, and then we're on to a winner. So my concern is that's now going to go in the seal, and it's going to tell everyone they look tired, and everyone's going to be really annoyed by it, and it's going to take away from a fantastic car.
They're not the only ones, are they, though? Because I know we're going to save your Polestar for long term, which is a great car. But the thing that really drove me mad when I had that for a few weeks was the fact it told me I was tired all the time.
Yeah,
but
I'd turn it off.
I'd have got in the car, be driving down the road, and it'd be like, take a break, you look tired, time for a rest. It's like, are you just telling me I look old? Or that I've got constantly blanks under my eyes? I've not yawned. I mean, I don't... yes. So anyway,
I want to add here, we've got to mention here Leap Motor If you think BYD's bad, some of the Leap motors, the C10, I think, in their defence, I think they've already updated it because so many people complained about it. And I know that they've added shortcuts and stuff. So they, on the B10, you can turn it off on the steering wheel. So they've improved it already drastically. But especially when Leap Motor first released its cars, they were almost undrivable because you couldn't go anywhere without it beeping at you. It was really bad, but I'm with you on BYD. I had a Seal 6 and had exactly the same thing. And if you've got glasses on and at night and it gets the glare on your glasses, I think it makes it even worse because it thinks you're not looking at not looking at the road. So it beeps at you all the time. It's really frustrating.
If you're then gonna give me just a screen with all my buttons, I'm going to need to look at said screen to press certain buttons. Then you're going to tell me off for not looking at the road because I'm looking at a screen that you've given me.
Let's move on. I feel we've ranted enough. I'm sure the comment section will continue this rant for us. So it's over to you guys.
Okay.
Let us know in the comments. Should we very quickly cover this home charging announcement that's come out from the government?
I've got my notes here on my laptop.
Oh, how efficient.
I have a laptop because I'm intelligent and can do some research. Home charging grant. So did you know that the government has basically increased the home charging point grant from 350 quid up to 500 quid? This is happening from the 1st of April, which I think is a good thing because it will encourage more people to turn electric and all that sort of stuff. So it's been extended for another 12 months, which is lovely. So it covers up to 50% of installation costs. It's available to renters, landlords, businesses, all that kind of thing. Schools as well, they're being offered £2,000 per charge point as well. So that's all going to be good. If teachers need to charge at work, that's absolutely bloody wonderful. I think this is nothing but a positive. And it's not just to be put on your driveways, it's also to be put on pavements if you don't have a driveway, all that kind of thing. So I think this could be potentially a very positive thing. So well done, government.
Shall I be a bit contrary on this?
Hit me.
I just thought it was it's a bit rubbish, if I'm honest. I welcome.
I thought it was 150 quid though.
But I think they're looking at the wrong thing, right? So they're assuming that anyone who has a driveway is loaded and can afford, and doesn't need a grant. Now that's just rubbish, as we know, absolute rubbish. So there are lots and lots of people who live in houses with driveways who are not loaded. So they're sort of, so that's just assuming that, that people don't need support on a charger. And my point would be, it's all very good if you're buying a new EV. Well, you might get one bundled in and all of that kind of thing. But we've got an amazing used market now. And one of the things we've been championing for a long time is more support around used. So you can pick up now a really good used EV for about 10 grand.
Yeah.
If you're making that switch for the first time out of a petrol or diesel car into an EV, and 10 grand is still a lot of money to spend on a second-hand car. If suddenly you go, oh, and then there's also that £1,000 there and more potentially to get your home charger fitted. That is a lot of cash to find. And I think that may well be the difference between people going, oh, well, I'm going to make the switch, but oh God, no, that's an extra expense. So I actually think we don't need to give, chargers to landlords to make their homes more valuable, which is effectively what we're doing. So if you're renting, we shouldn't really be doing that because that benefits the landlord ultimately as well, because their property value increases and they've got a charger there. Yeah. I just think they're looking at it all the wrong way. What we need to look at personally for me is affordability. And we need a much better thing would be to look at, is there a level at which if you're buying a used car at a certain amount, or I don't know how you do it, but I think there are better ways to spend this money personally.
Okay, that is a very good rant, and now I agree with you. So well done. Okay. It's also because I'm thinking of my sister. My sister's just bought herself a plug-in hybrid. She's not gone fully electric. She bought herself a plug-in hybrid, and she doesn't have the money for a home charger. So she's been messaging me like crazy, going, "Can you sort me one out for free?" I'm like, I don't think I can, Samantha, but no.
It's such a, my
They're
mum and
so
dad,
expensive.
the pensioners on a pension. They bought a second-hand EV, and the charger was like such a big thing for them. It was a lot of extra money, and I just think the government is just not thinking straight about this whole transition. It's spending its money in the wrong places. Vicky,
a very
you want to
simple
join the rant?
solution to potentially this. Well, it's a rant, but we've discussed this before. But I think a solution to this would be to offer a very simple interest-free loan to people,
Yes.
which can be applied to a used
Yes.
EV purchase, a new EV purchase, and to your charging infrastructure changes. So if you need to add a home charger or a pavement gully, you can use that loan to cover those costs. And it would just need to be a fairly common sense loan. It can be spread over a number of years. It's interest free, and it would make it all a lot more accessible to people.
Vicky
And I think
Parrott,
that would
Prime
be a
Minister.
straightforward
Thank
way
you.
of doing it.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Thank you very much.
Well, Scotland has been doing this for years. We've been campaigning on this issue since I launched electrifying.com, because back when I launched electrifying, I discovered that in Scotland you could get it was an interest-free loan. At the time it was on a new and a used vehicle.
Yes,
and now it's on a used vehicle, and you can get it on a used electric van, electric motorbike, or electric car. I think from memory the top up the cut-off point is 28,000, and it comes through the Energy Saving Trust. It's Scottish Transport that runs it and provides the money. It's a brilliant scheme, and I've been banging, I've been moaning and whinging at them at Westminster to introduce something similar. And I just think that, like you say, I'd never actually thought, Vic, about the fact that it could be used to cover infrastructure changes. It's such a good idea.
Absolutely. Definitely it could.
I think maybe we need to formalise this. Who's with us? Should we start a petition?
Let's do it.
Let's
do
do
it.
Let us
Absolutely.
know. Let us know if we should start a petition. Okay. Should we move on to what people have been saying in the comments?
Yes,
Yeah, we
let's do
might
it.
have to trim this down because we're at 40 minutes.
They
Okay.
love it. They expect us to go to 45 minutes at least. It's fine. It's fine.
So we just keep talking. Anyway, carry on. Well, comments and questions are basically mostly people having a go at us for not being here for a
For
while.
where the podcast is. Exactly.
So we've already apologised. What more do you want from us?
We actually had people emailing us asking where
Right.
we're from. And Barry B. Tinnell and Roger Stevens, a couple of them have emailed quite a bit, and I really appreciate that, so thank you.
Did anybody write long form old letters? Did we get any actual physical letters? I hope so. Or postcards? I'd love it.
I'd
Does
love
anybody
to get
send
a
a letter
postcard.
anymore? Especially a letter about a
Wish
missing
you were here.
podcast.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Can we give your address out live on air, Vicky, and then we can all go to you?
Yeah, no, I'm all right, actually. But
Okay.
36 Schmibbly Bib Drive.
I don't know. Maybe the
Anyway.
random PO box that we use for the company's house. Maybe they're all there. Okay, Mark CN 007. Oh, I said on Electrifying. Has this podcast stopped? Update, please. Hellazer Hive.
he lays a hive.
Laser Hive.
Just going to leave that to you.
We
Yep.
missed you. It's been a month now. Come back. We are. It only took us 2 months. We're sorry. But then this one from Richard Piper. Richard was not happy. Hello, are you still there? Whatever happened to the Kilowatt half hour being your weekly capitals update on all that's happening in the EV world? I would have expected you to have a break over Christmas and New Year. And I know you presenters have been off on new car jollies, but what is the excuse for complete silence?
Excuse me, Richard. New car jollies? Are you trying to tell us that they don't fly us over to lovely countries and make us stay in 5-star hotels and drive cars and take us for fancy? That's what they do. That is what they do, damn it.
It's hard work. Don't tell Nick it's hard work.
I think it's a
Tight
very valid
deadlines,
point.
late
but
nights.
The harsh reality is that if we didn't go and cover all these cars, and there's been so many, we have literally, just to put it into perspective, there was 1 week where we had 9 cars launched in a week. Now, there's not enough of us to do that.
I was on holiday that week.
Oh, Nikki was on holiday. Nikki was in Miami with Formula E.
Yeah.
There's a day coming up in 2 weeks where we've got 4 launches on one day.
Yes.
And one of those launches involved seeing 4 cars. So that is
Yes.
7 cars in one day. So it has definitely got a lot of stuff coming, but I agree and we're sorry. And what we should have done is just put up a pinned comment.
Yeah, and look, we understand, and I understand it can come across as jollies and very fancy and all that kind of thing, but they're not all like that. I have a theory. Have I told you my theory?
No, go on.
So you
I
know
know
when
what your theory is. I know, go on.
When you go on a car launch, if you stay in an amazing 5-star hotel and you have this incredible dinner, and sometimes they might fly you business class, then most likely the car's rubbish.
It's true. It's true.
Ooh.
If you stay in a crummy airport hotel, which happens very often, and you're at the back of the plane, you've hardly eaten, they're probably just going to give you hardly any food, the car's probably decent. That's my theory.
Well, I attended a launch once at a travel lodge, and the hotel was the travel lodge. But do you know what? That press launch was run by our very own Tom Barnard. So maybe we want to come back to that, and he can tell us all about it.
Was it a good car, though? Was the car good?
Car.
That's why. If the car's good, they don't need to splash the cash. If the car is rubbish, they need to try and schmooze you.
Doesn't always work, but I think it's a good theory. But yeah, anyway, we're sorry about that. But anyway, we've had some emails in, so let's run through some emails.
Okay, this is from Adam Palmer. Hello, Adam, who says, "Good afternoon to the electrifying team, and thank you for all of the useful information and informative videos that you generate." Very nice. For this question, I'm asking you to stare into your crystal balls and try and answer the following. Well, when do you think the automotive industry will produce an electric performance estate car with a 500-mile motorway range, the space of a Skoda Superb estate, and the driving characteristics of the best Richard Parry Jones Fords? Looking forward to hearing the answer on the next podcast. Thanks, Adam.
That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Richard Parry Jones. What a god! What a god!
Yeah.
He was, yeah.
What a god!
So
he was. If for people that don't know, he basically is a driving dynamics literal god, isn't he?
Legend.
He was, yeah. And he was responsible for the Focus, the Mark I Focus, and the Fiestas of many generations. And he sort of turned Ford around, didn't he? He kind of made it was fantastic. Really incredible guy.
Okay. So basically what Adam is asking is when is he going to get a super sporty, awesome, super fast, amazing estate car with over 500 miles that you can do on the motorway?
Well,
you got to give it a minute, Adam.
You're going to get the Polestar 4 coupe the Polestar 4 estate / wagon / long boy, but that ain't going to be able to do 500 miles. I don't think.
Nothing will do 500 miles on the motorway at the moment.
No,
we'll just put that. It's even the CLA shooting brake or whatever it is, which is that's going to be probably acclaimed of close to 500, isn't it? But it's not going to actually do that if you're on a steady motorway, generally.
And I said, do you really want to be able to do 500 miles on the motorway in one go?
Well,
that's all he wants to do.
He
wants to speed on the motorway so fast that everyone at every gantry is going to be taking flashy pictures of him because he's that good.
Well,
I think the estates with a good decent range. In sort of really, so for example, there's a potential really lovely Skoda estate coming, isn't there? We saw that Vision-O. Was it the Vision-O concept?
Yes, the Vision-O.
Oh yeah,
it's the new Octavia, isn't it?
That will be coming up, new Octavia. I think there are really interesting things coming, and yes, like we were saying earlier about the small cars. You get in these cars with, if you get the bigger batteries, little cars, the range of 280 odd miles. I mean, when we first launched, little cars had a range of like 120, 150.
Oh, who remembers the Honda E?
There's big changes happening.
I love the Honda E.
I'll in my crystal ball, which I have here, it's a crystal pillar, not a ball. It's telling me 2029.
Oh, that's still quite a long way away.
Look, this is obligatory. I have to say this before we move on. You want an electric car with the space of a Skoda Superb that's lovely to drive. Have a look at the Volkswagen ID.7. I'm still banging on about it. Everybody's forgotten about it.
You love that car so much.
I love it so much. The ID.7 Touring. It's so comfy and so massive, and I love it. And it does have a range of over 400 miles, and I want one. And Volkswagen still hasn't given me one. I just want them to give me one to keep.
And while we're there, just check out the Enyaq too, because we haven't mentioned that for a while.
Okay. Bloody hell. Do you know what? We've taken 46 minutes for you to mention the Enyaq. Let's keep moving.
Right. Okay. This is from Adam Palmer, who emailed in, and his email had a great subject title. Oh no, that's the one you've just done. Sorry.
Pay attention.
Sorry.
Next to it.
But you say this is the honest podcast. We're not going to edit this, are we? We're going straight on to the next one.
You're reading a message from Gabby.
Gabby, all right. Gabby Sheridan, Neue Class. Hi there. I love watching your show on YouTube. As a retired German teacher, thanks for that, by the way, Gabby. As a retired German teacher, could I ask you to revisit your pronunciation of Neue Class? The E at the end is sounded on both words. It would be great if you'd be the show to get this spot on, and you are so right, and we should do, because I know it is Neue Klasse. It is
Neue Klasse.
I know that. I know it's Neue Klasse. Dankeschön, Gabby, for pointing that out to us. And I am going to make it my mission now to not get that right, because I'm off to see some other Neue Klasse things.
Okay, so shall we,
right.
after 3,
Right.
1, 2, 3,
Neue
Klasse.
Klasse.
Good. I'm glad that we're all in sync.
That was so bad.
Okay. Thanks, Gabby. Thank you, Gabby. We will try and Neue Klasse.
Yeah.
Okay. What are we going to end on? Are we going to end?
Okay.
Here
we
go.
Look,
Loads of messages that
go on then.
Should we go with Polestar 2? I've got one on the Polestar 2 long range single motor from Nigel Knowles. He says, hi there. Hoping you can explain a query I have re my Polestar 2's range. With my car's 20-inch wheels, the manufacturer's quoted range is 385 miles. So he does say it's a Polestar 2 long-range single motor. However, when set to charge to 100%, the maximum that my car will charge to according to the car's battery gauge is 320 miles. Is this normal? I expected to see 385 miles, but see this drop more quickly due to cold weather. Well, I think, this is unfortunately the WLTP versus real world, isn't it, situation?
Yeah.
So the gauge on your car is showing you the mileage that the car will do in practice in the real world, even when it's cold, even when you do mostly motorway journeys. The WLTP range, which is the official government tested range that they get in a lab according to very set sort of specific ways that they test the car, that is the WLTP range. So that's what the car will do in a combined situation under lab tests. Real world is what your car's showing you on the dash, and it may even not quite do that because some gauge readouts are a bit optimistic.
Oh, go on, Nick. Sorry.
In the Polestar, this is one thing that I love about Polestar, is that when you do charge to 100% and it says whatever mileage it is in that car at that time at 100%, that is normally what they can give you. So if you've charged it to 100% and it says 320, you're probably going to get 320. If you've then charged it the following day and it says 285, you're probably going to get 285. It doesn't throw lies at you in that sense, which I appreciate. So sometimes, I don't know, when I was in the Peugeot 3008, I would fully charge to 100% and it would tell me I can do 380 miles or something ridiculous. But actually, that would just drop so quickly and I'd only get about 180 to 200 miles. So at least I think that's where Polestar are stronger than other brands, that they will always be honest with what you're going to get at that particular day.
I think this is more now something that we're seeing in sort of second and third generation EVs. The good manufacturers, those range predictions are more spot on. And I think what can be really hard to get your head around is that at different times of the year, your battery will show a different range. Yeah. Because it's what it does. If you're new to electric, is it's learning like how much range have I been getting out of it recently on average. So for example, with Yoda, with the Renault, I've got to call it the Renault 5, haven't I?
Renault
Sorry, the Renault 5. Was getting pretty much the official range in summer, during the summer months. In winter, I've been getting around 2.9 miles per kilowatt out of it. It's been pretty much bang on that. And I think we debate a lot about like what's an acceptable drop off in colder weather, or if you're doing long motorway journeys. And I think, I don't know, I always stand at around 20%. I think I'm not. Yeah. It's where I would be like, okay, that's not worrying me. When I do start to, I think they need to really be looking at, the thermal management of the batteries or the claims they're making, is when you're getting to like a battery's dropping 30, 35%. And we do know cars that happens on. Yes. And that's something we're going to do a lot more of this year, Vic, isn't it? Is really try and drill down into, what are those realities? And it is difficult because it's been great for me with a long termer over a year, actually, where I've seen 4 seasons. I've had that really good comparison of what that car's like. And that's why the long termers are brilliant. But in the other instances, we get a car for a week. So you're not even really able to, to really drill down into that efficiency. And I think what we would like very much is for owners to start letting us know, what are you getting out of your cars? So if you can email us, podcast@electrifying.com would be ideal, with what you're running and what you're finding you're getting. Because I think this is the data that's really interesting for people. And there's so many long-term cars that we can run. So if you can do that, we would love you for it.
There you go. Lovely. Good.
Okay.
Right. Is there another message, or are we officially done at 52 minutes?
Should we maybe stop there, I think, maybe?
I think we should. Shall we?
I think we should
Shall we?
stop.
Shall we
there.
stop?
An hour.
I mean,
We can carry on if you want to. It's all good.
this is a pretty spectacular comeback for the Kilowatt half hour at 52 minutes.
Maybe we should have just relaunched as the Kilowatt hour and been done with it, really.
I think that's probably what we should have done. Yeah.
We're just going to do that next week, probably instead.
Yeah.
I honestly, it's been a joy to be back, and we are sorry, and we hope that you'll continue to join us. And we really promise, pinky promise, we'll be back next week.
Yes.
I think the
We
boys
will.
will be back
I
next
promise.
week.
We'll be
We're off
there.
some of us are off doing stuff, aren't we, next week?
Yeah, we're on it. We're on it. Okay. So thank you for joining us. Any other questions and stuff, you know the drill. Any other questions and things, put it in the comments section below. Anything else that you want us to talk about, put it in the comments section below. Drop us an email via the email address, which is podcast@electrifying.com. Drop us a message on social media. Follow us there, by the way, because I don't know if you've noticed, but our social media has had a nice little revamp lately, and we've been posting some funky stuff. So we're just electrifying.com or electrifying.com, aren't we, on socials?
We're at the dot.
Yeah. So thank you very much for joining us. And we're now at 53 and a half minutes. You take care. Love to the kids. Bye.
Bye.